राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे,
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी,
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी,
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी,
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Janvallabha, Jaya Girivardhari.
Jai Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Vihari, Jayo Gopi Janavallabha, Girivardhari. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna. So, very warm welcome to all of you for today's session on the Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll start our session with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudírayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So we discussed in our previous sessions about false ego, how this false ego develops in this material creation, and how a living entity, he starts to identify himself with matter because of this false ego, and how false ego is influenced by the three modes of material nature, the kind of modes in which a person is the kind of mode or the mode of material nature which drives a person is reflected by his false ego. So false ego can be in mode of goodness, can be in mode of passion, can be in mode of ignorance. Basically, false ego is influenced by these three modes and a person acts accordingly. So now today we'll begin our discussion with text 27, Shloka number 27 of the 26th chapter of the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vaikarikaad vikurvanan मनस्तत्वमजायत यत्संकल्प विकल्पाभ्याम वर्तते काम संभवः वैकारिकाद् विकुर्वाणान् मनस्तत्वमजायत यत्संकल्प विकल्पाभ्याम वर्तते काम संभवः. Translation: from the false ego of goodness, another transformation takes place. From this evolves the mind, whose thoughts and reflections give rise to desire. Now you see. So now different aspects of false ego are discussed here. That what happens when false ego is in mode of goodness. So here it is mentioned that Vaikarikat Vikurvanat Manah Tattvam Ajayata. Ajayata means to take place or to be born or to arise. So Manas Tattvam, Manas means mind. So Yat Sankalpa Vikalpabhyam Vartate Kama Sambhavaha. Kama Sambhava. Kama means desire or material desires. And Sambhava means the repository or the origin of all material desires. And Sankalpa Vikalpabhyam. Sankalp and Vikalp. Sankalp means determination to follow something. And Vikalp means when there is lack of determination or when there are many options. So, Vaikarikat Vikurvana. So, when false ego is in mode of goodness, then it gives rise to the mind, mental activities, mental platform. Because mind is the repository of all kinds of desires. And as we know that one of the characteristic of the spirit soul is desire. A living entity can never be inactive and a living entity can never be desireless. Why? Because of the mind. So mind is that aspect of the spirit soul because of which the spirit soul desires. That's what is mentioned here. Vartate kama sambhava. Kama means material desire. So of course, when now here, see, one thing we have to understand. False ego is in mode of goodness, which gives rise to the mind. Now, what is happening? It's false ego. It's not real ego in mode of goodness. See, here everything is artificial. The aspects which we are discussing here in these shlokas, everything is artificial. Artificial means it is all material in nature. Okay. So, false ego is itself not real ego. It is false ego. So, false ego is artificial ego of the spirit soul. The real ego of the spirit soul is in the spiritual world. But when the spirit soul falls into this material world, he develops false ego. So, false ego is a covering, it's a contaminated covering over real ego. Okay. False ego is the contaminated covering over real ego. Now, false ego is acting in mode of goodness. Now, this goodness is also not real goodness. This goodness is material mode of goodness. So, first of all, this is false ego, and then it is acting under the influence of material mode of goodness. So, we should not mistake it to be something spiritual. No, it is all material in nature. So, the mind which is developing or the mind which develops when false ego is in mode of goodness, that mind is also material mind. It is not spiritual mind, because spiritually also we have our own mind. But this mind which here Bhagavan Kapil is talking about, this is material mind, which is material mind which covers our original mind, our spiritual mind. Okay. So that is what is mentioned here, that Vaikarikat Vikurvanat Manas Tattvam Ajayata. So when false ego is under the influence of mode of goodness, then Manas Tattvam, the functions of the mind takes place. So the mind gets covered because real ego is covered by false ego. Okay, because of contamination of the spirit soul or because of contaminated consciousness. We discussed in our previous session. So false ego covers real ego. Okay. This material mind covers our real mind under the influence of when the false ego is in mode of goodness. Okay. And then what happens? So the function of the mind is to desire. In the spiritual world also mind desires. But in Golok Vrindavan or in the spiritual world, we only desire for the pleasure of Krishna. Okay. In the material world, because mind is not spiritual mind, this is material mind, which covers our original mind, which covers our spiritual mind. So what happens? This mind is just a reflection of the real mind that we have. The real mind will only desire to please Krishna. But when this flexible or when this material mind is there, so this material mind gives rise to Kama Sambhavaha. Kama Sambhava means material desires. Real mind gives rise to spiritual desires in the spiritual world, in Golok Vrindavan. But material mind gives rise to material desires in this material creation. So mind is the repository of all kinds of desires for the spirit soul. Okay. And it's the mind which controls the senses, because senses are in touch with matter and mind gives the desire to enjoy the sense objects to the senses. So mind has a very important function. So when mind is material, it gives rise to material desires. When mind becomes spiritual, then mind again starts giving spiritual desires. So that is why the goal of bhakti is to rekindle or reawaken or awaken our spiritual mind. So to reawaken our spiritual mind, what do we need to do? We need to kill this material mind. And how do we kill this material mind? By constant association with a pure devotee or by constantly engaging in devotional service to Krishna. So mind can be engaged. When mind is engaged in Krishna's service, then mind automatically revives its original quality, which is spiritual quality. Now text 28, shloka number 28. Yad vidur hyaniruddhakyam ऋषिकाणामधीश्वरम् शारदेन्दीवरश्यामम् सम्राध्यं योगिभिः शनैः यद्विदुर्ह्यनिरुद्धाख्यं ऋषिकाणामधीश्वरम् शारदेन्दीवरश्यामम् सम्राध्यं योगिभिः शनैः. Translation. The mind of the living entity is known by the name of Lord Aniruddha, the supreme ruler of the senses. He possesses a bluish-black form like lotus flower growing in the autumn. He is found solely by the yogis. So this mind of the living entity, here it is mentioned, Yad Vidur Hi Aniruddhakyam. So here we are talking about mind. Now, mind or Manas Tattvam. Manas Tattva means the mind. So, Aniruddhakyam Rishikana Madhishwaram. Aniruddhakyam. So, this mind is known by the name Aniruddha and Rishikana Madhishwaram. Rishikana means the senses and Adhishwara means the master of the senses. Okay, so mind is the master of the senses and mind is known by the name Aniruddha. Sharadendi Varashyamam Samradhyam Yogi Bhishane. And it is mentioned here that Sharad Indi Vara means like a lotus. So Aniruddha, the Supreme Lord, he is also known as Aniruddha. So one of the expansions of Krishna is Aniruddha. And that Aniruddha, who is expansion of Krishna, one of the expansions of Lord Krishna is Aniruddha. And he is Rishi Kana Madhishwaram. He is the controller of the mind and mind is in turn controller of the senses. So Rishi Kana Madhishwaram. So mind is the controller of the senses. And who controls the mind? Aniruddha. Sharadendi Vara Shyamam. Sharad Indivara. Sham means blackish and complexion. So, and Lord Aniruddha, he is always on a lotus flower. He is present on a lotus flower. And Yogi Bhishana and those who are great yogis, they meditate on Lord Aniruddha. Okay. And by meditating or by constantly associating with Lord Aniruddha, one very quickly becomes conscious of Krishna always. So bhakti is practiced by pure meditation on Aniruddha. Aniruddha is one of the expansion of the Supreme Lord. Now, this does not mean that we are following a wrong process. No. This is a process recommended by Bhagwan Kapil some many yugas back. Many yugas back. In this age of Kali Yuga, the only process which is recommended is Shravanam and Kirtanam. Shravanam and Kirtanam. That is the only process recommended in this age of Kali Yuga. Prior to this, there were many processes recommended, just like here we are seeing in this shloka. That Aniruddhakyam and the yogis, they used to meditate on Aniruddha and that's how they used to reach Paramatma realization or realization of the absolute truth. But in this age of Kali Yuga, the process to realize Krishna is Shravanam and Kirtanam. The process of Shravanam Kirtanam is the process for this age of Kali Yuga. Now text 29, shloka number 29. Tejasattu vikurvanad buddhi tattvam abhutsati dravyasfurana vijnanam indriyanam anugraha. Tejasattu vikurvanad buddhi tattvam abhutsati dravyasfurana vijnanam indriyanam anugraha. Translation. By transformation of the false ego in passion, intelligence takes birth. O virtuous lady, the functions of intelligence are to help in ascertaining the nature of objects when they come into view and to help the senses. Now you see, so Bhagwan Kapil, he is talking about the functions of intelligence now. So when false ego is agitated by mode of passion, then intelligence develops. Now here again we are talking about material intelligence, not spiritual intelligence. Okay. So you see it is mentioned here. Tejasat tu vikurvana. Tejasat means tej means mode of passion, rajoguna. So Tejasat tu vikurvanat. Vikurvanat means to get transformed. Buddhi tattvam abhutsati. So Buddhi tattvam, in the previous shloka it was manas tattvam. That means mind. Now here it is mentioned Buddhi tattvam. So when false ego is agitated by mode of passion, it gives rise to for intelligence when false ego is agitated by mode of passion. So when false ego is in mode of passion, it gives rise to intelligence. Now what does intelligence do? You see here. Dravya Sphurana Vijnanam. Dravya Sphurana Vijnanam. Vijnanam means to understand the science or to analyze. So Dravya means matter. Indriyanam Anugraha. So intelligence helps in ascertaining. It helps the senses in ascertaining whether it is enjoyable or not. You see, in the previous shloka, we discussed about mind. So, mind will create thoughts for desire. Mind will create desire for sense gratification. But intelligence will create that discrimination, whether it will give me sense pleasure or not. That discriminating power of the mind is called intelligence. Okay. So, that discriminating power belongs to intelligence. So, Indriyana Manugraha, that means intelligence helps in ascertaining the senses whether the senses have to, these sense objects will give pleasure or not. Should we engage with the sense objects or not? Because you see, senses are always in touch with matter. So intelligence gives us the discrimination whether the senses have to come in touch with the sense objects or not. So that power to discern, that power to discriminate between good and bad, right and wrong, all these are given by intelligence. Now text 30, shloka number 30. संशयोऽथ विपर्यासो निश्चय स्मृतिरेव च स्वाप इत्युच्यते बुद्धेर लक्षणं वृत्तितः पृथक्. संशयोऽथ विपर्यासो निश्चय स्मृतिरेव च स्वाप इत्युच्यते बुद्धेर लक्षणं वृत्तितः पृथक्. Translation: doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory and sleep, as determined by their different functions, are said to be the distinct characteristics of intelligence. Now you see. So, sanshayo ath viparyaso. Sanshay means doubts. Okay. Sanshay means doubts. Viparyasa means viparya. Viparya means to disagree. Okay, sanshaya means doubts, and viparyaso means to disagree, disagreement. Nishchaya means determination. Okay, smriti revacha, smriti means memory, memory to remember things. Swap ityuchyate, swap means sleep. Iti uchyate, buddhir lakshanam. These are characteristics of the intellectual capacity, or these are the characteristics of intelligence. Vrittitah prithak. So these are different functions of the intelligence. Which are those? Sanshaya, Viparya, Nishchaya, Smriti, and Swap. So this Sanshaya means doubt. So how can doubt be good? How can doubt be good? Then it is mentioned Viparyaso. Viparyaso means to disagree. So this is particularly useful when we are dealing with materialistic people. Of course, doubting is not good when we have a bona fide spiritual master. Once we receive knowledge from proper source, then doubting is not very good. In fact, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that Sanshayatma Vinashyati, that Arjun, one who is a Sanshayatma, one who is a doubting soul, he will get destroyed. Okay. Once we receive knowledge from proper source, through parampara, from guru, from spiritual master, then all the doubts must get destroyed. There should be no doubts. Okay. So, of course, when we receive knowledge from proper sources, then there is no need of doubting anything. But when we don't receive knowledge from proper sources, then we need to doubt. Then we need to disagree also. So, Sanshaya and Viparya, these two are the capacity of intelligence to basically doubt something, or to go against something, or to reject something. Then it is mentioned Nishchaya Smriti Revacha. Nishchaya means determination. And Smriti Revacha, and Smriti means the mind. So these are the functions of intelligence. One more function of intelligence mentioned here is sleep. So intelligence will work properly only when there is proper sleep. Proper sleep can only be is very important. Proper sleep is very important for intelligence to function properly. If we don't sleep properly, then intelligence will also not function properly. And if intelligence does not function properly, then there will be no discrimination for the senses to come in touch with sense objects. And then that will disturb the whole process of hierarchy, which helps a spirit soul determine what is right, what is wrong. So, buddhir lakshanam. So, these are the functions, these are the characteristics of intelligence. Okay. So, by this process also, we come to know we are not this body, we are a spirit soul. All this knowledge automatically develops, all this knowledge automatically comes when we use the intelligence properly. In fact, in the Vedic scriptures, it is mentioned, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, that inquisitiveness to know the truth, that is also function of intelligence. Okay. But intelligence, material intelligence develops because of material mind and false ego. So material mind and false ego gives rise to material intelligence. And this material intelligence is basically when engaged in service of Krishna, then this material intelligence can revive its original constitutional position, which is to be always engaged in service of Krishna. Right? And all these things will be possible if we sleep properly. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also that युक्ताहार विहार से युक्त चेष्टा से कर्मसु. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that we have to rise above bodily plane to mental plane to intellectual plane, and finally we have to rise up to spiritual plane to become transcendental to this material world. So these are the functions of intelligence, and intelligence is very important to understand spiritual subject matters. Spiritual subject matters can only be understood by a human being when he under when he starts to become inquisitive about the absolute truth that is mentioned in the Vedic scriptures. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So that inquisitiveness to know the truth, to know the absolute truth, that is also one of the functions of intelligence. So intelligence, when is used in service of Krishna, can very quickly give us liberation from this material bondage. But when intelligence is under the influence of material mind and false ego, then that same intelligence can degrade a person into material life and destruction. So these are some of the topics which are very important in Sankhya Yoga. Bhagwan Kapil talks about these topics. So we'll cover more about it in the upcoming sessions. Today's session will stop here. Those who are new to the channel can subscribe. All of you can like, comment, share. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.